country smaller than New Jersey, no oil, no strategic depth, surrounded on every side, Israel responded by building the most battle-tested weapons industry on Earth. Every system combat-proven, every innovation born from necessity. These are the 20 weapons that turn survival into dominance. Air defense, the Iron Dome. The world's first operationally successful short-range missile defense system. Intercepts rockets, artillery shells, and mortar rounds in flight, targeting only those calculated to hit populated areas and ignoring the rest. Each interceptor costs $80,000. The rockets it destroys cost $500. The math works because the alternative is worse. Deployed in 2011. By June 2025, during Iran's 12-day direct assault on Israel, Iron Dome batteries intercepted short-range threats from Hezbollah simultaneously with Arrow 3 handling Iranian ballistic missiles above. A system that went from drawing board to combat readiness in under 4 years. A development timeline that no other nation has matched for a system of equivalent complexity. The Iron Beam. The Tamir interceptor costs $80,000. The Iron Beam costs $3.50 per shot. A high-energy laser system developed by Rafael Advanced Defense Systems, operational with the IDF since late 2025. It works by focusing a sustained beam on an incoming threat until structural failure occurs, burning through drones, rockets, and mortar rounds at the speed of light with an effectively unlimited magazine. First combat use reported in March 2026 against Hezbollah rockets. Israel's answer to the economic problem of missile defense, when the interceptor cost 160 times more than the threat, changed the interceptor, David's Sling, the middle layer of Israel's air defense architecture, designed to intercept threats that fly too fast for Iron Dome and too low for Arrow, medium to long-range ballistic missiles, large rockets, and cruise missiles. Range 300 kilometers, developed jointly with Raytheon. During the June 2025 Iran escalation, it intercepted Iranian ballistic missiles alongside Arrow 3, with the combined system achieving an 86 to 90% interception rate against over 500 incoming weapons. The layer that fills the gap between systems. The Arrow 3, Israel's exo-atmospheric interceptor. It destroys ballistic missiles above the atmosphere, before re-entry, before warhead separation, before the final terminal phase, where interception becomes exponentially harder. Range exceeds 2,400 kilometers. In December 2025, Israel signed a $3.1 billion deal to supply Arrow 3 to Germany, the second such deal in 2 years, and the largest export contract in Israeli defense history. The weapon Iran's Sejil was designed to overwhelm, the system that made Iran develop maneuvering warheads, ground forces, the Merkava 4 Barak, Israel's main battle tank, designed around a principle no other nation's tank uses, the engine in the front. The engine absorbs the hit, the crew survives. 65 tons, 120mm smoothbore gun, Trophy Active Protection System standard. The Barak variant, introduced in 2023, added AI-assisted fire control, autonomous threat detection, and a new battle management system that processes the entire battlefield in real time. In Gaza, Merkava 4s equipped with cope cage, upper protection, faced drone-dropped munitions, a threat no tank in history had previously been designed against. Israel's response was immediate. Retrofit every tank in the field within weeks. The Trophy APS, the world's first operationally proven active protection system. Radar detects an incoming anti-tank weapon. The system computes the intercept point. A directional charge fires and destroys the threat in the air before it reaches the tank. Development began in the 1990s. First operational deployment 2011. First confirmed combat intercept of an RPG in 2011. By 2025, Trophy had accumulated more combat intercepts than any other active protection system in history. The US Army adopted it for the M1 Abrams. The US Marine Corps adopted it for the M1A1. Germany adopted it for the Leopard 2. Israel built it because it had no other choice, and the rest of the world bought it because it works. The Namer APC, the heaviest armored personnel carrier ever built. 60 tons, heavier than most main battle tanks. Built on a Merkava chassis, it carries the same level of protection as the tank it was derived from. IDF commanders demanded it after Gaza 2006, when soldiers in lighter APCs were killed by RPGs that Merkava tanks would have survived. Israel's response was to build an APC that is effectively a tank with the turret removed and replaced with troop capacity. No other nation has fielded anything equivalent. The Eitan AFV, Israel's newest 8x8 wheeled armored fighting vehicle, 30mm autocannon, Trophy APS remote weapon station, fully digital battlefield management, designed to replace the aging M113 fleet and optimized for urban warfare, the terrain that defined Israel's last decade of combat. Unlike tracked vehicles, it can operate on road networks at speed. Unlike lighter wheeled vehicles, it survives IEDs and RPGs. The first vehicle designed from scratch with the assumption that every future conflict will be fought in cities. The Spike ATGM, Israel's anti-tank guided missile family, the most exported ATGM in the world outside the United States. Fire and forget. The shooter locks on a target, fires, and can immediately take cover. The missile guides itself to impact using its own seeker. Spike EER-2 range, 16 kilometers, beyond visual range, beyond the effective range of any anti-aircraft system protecting armor. Operated by 38 nations. Germany purchased $2 billion worth in 2024. The missile that proved Israeli weapons engineering was not just good enough for Israel's wars, it was good enough for everyone else's. Air Force. The F-35I Adir. Israel received the F-35 and then modified it. The Adir variant integrates Israeli electronic warfare systems, Israeli avionics, Israeli weapons, and Israeli threat libraries that no American operator has access to. Israel is the only nation permitted to modify the F-35's software at the source code level. In Operation Rising Lion, June 2025, F-35. Adirs penetrated Iranian airspace, defended by S-300 batteries and Bavar 373 systems, and struck nuclear and missile infrastructure without a single loss. The strike package that flew to Iran and returned is the most complex long-range stealth operation in aviation history. The F-15I Raam, Israel's long-range strike aircraft, 2 GEF-11O engines, conformal fuel tanks extending range beyond 4,000 kilometers, capable of carrying the largest conventional munitions in the Israeli arsenal. It flew in the same June 2025 package that struck Iran, not as a stealth penetrator, but as a precision strike platform operating behind the path cleared by the F-35 is. The aircraft that drops the bunker buster after the F-35 has eliminated the air defenses. The F-16I Sufa, Israel's workhorse multi-role fighter, more heavily modified than any other F-16 variant in the world. Israeli avionics, Israeli EW systems, conformal fuel tanks, Python 5, and Darby air-to-air missiles. Over 100 operated by the IAF, used in more combat sorties than any other Israeli aircraft over the last 2 decades. The aircraft that struck the Syrian nuclear reactor in 2007. The aircraft that flew thousands of sorties over Gaza in 2023 and 2024. Not the most sophisticated Israeli jet, but the most used. Drones. The Heron TP Israel. Aerospace industry's largest operational drone. Wingspan 26 meters, larger than a Boeing 737. Endurance 36 hours. Operates at 45,000 feet, above most air defenses. Carries a 1-ton payload of sensors, electronic warfare systems, or weapons. Germany purchased a fleet for $1.2 billion in 2024. India operates them. Morocco operates them. The platform Israel uses to maintain persistent surveillance over Lebanon, Syria, Gaza, and the Red Sea simultaneously. Watching everything, all the time, without a pilot at risk. The Hermes 900. A medium-altitude, long-endurance platform designed specifically for the complexity of Israel's operational environment. Intelligence collection, electronic warfare, and precision strike in the same airframe. Operated by Israel, Switzerland, Brazil, and Colombia. In Gaza, Hermes 900s maintain 24-hour surveillance over the entire strip, feeding real-time targeting data to ground forces and strike aircraft. The drone that made the IDF's ground operations in dense urban terrain survivable. Naval. The Saar 6 corvette, Israel's newest warship class. Built in Germany, until Germany's embargo of 2024 briefly halted the program. Armed with Barak, 8 surface-to-air missiles, Sea Dome, Naval Iron Dome, and Gabriel anti-ship missiles. The Sea Dome battery aboard INS Magen scored the first naval interception in Iron Dome history in April 2024, shooting down a UAV near Eilat. Israel operates in the Mediterranean, the Red Sea, and the Persian Gulf simultaneously. The Saar 6 is the platform that makes that possible. The Dolphin-class submarine, German-built, Israeli-modified, widely believed to be nuclear-capable, carrying Israel's second strike deterrent. 6 in service, range classified, endurance classified, armament officially, torpedoes and cruise missiles. Israel has never confirmed the submarine's nuclear role. It has never denied it. In Israeli strategic doctrine, the submarines are the weapon that ensures Israel can never be destroyed in a first strike, because the second strike survives regardless of what happens on land. Special systems. The Stuxnet cyber weapon. Not a physical weapon. A piece of malicious code jointly developed with the United States, deployed against Iran's Natanz uranium enrichment facility in 2009 and 2010. It destroyed approximately 1,000 Iranian centrifuges by making them spin at destructive speeds while reporting normal operation to the control systems. It set Iran's nuclear program back by an estimated 2 years. It was the first cyber weapon to cause physical destruction, and it changed the definition of what a weapon is. The LORA ballistic missile. Israel's land attack ballistic missile. Range 400 kilometers. CEP, under 10 meters. Launched from a standard shipping container, indistinguishable from civilian cargo until the moment of launch. Sold to Azerbaijan, reportedly used operationally. The weapon that proved that ballistic missile precision and commercial logistics infrastructure are not mutually exclusive, and that Israel's deterrent could be deployed anywhere a shipping container can go. The Harop loitering munition. A suicide drone with a difference. It can abort. The Harop circles a target area for up to 9 hours. When it identifies a radar emission, it attacks. If the target turns off its radar, the Harop waits. If the target turns it on again, the Harop attacks. If the mission is cancelled, it returns. Used by Azerbaijan against Armenian air defenses in the 2020 Nagorno-Karabakh war. Destroying S-300 batteries with near-total effectiveness. The weapon that made radar operators in every military on Earth rethink whether turning on a radar was worth the risk. The Rampage missile. A supersonic air-launched ballistic missile. Mark II. Range 150 kilometers. Designed to penetrate hardened underground bunkers. The specific target type that defines Israel's primary threat environment. Launched from F-15I and F-16I aircraft. In June 2025, Rampage missiles were reportedly used against Iranian underground nuclear facilities, the targets that conventional guided bombs cannot reach. The weapon designed specifically for the war Israel knew was coming,